using activity to radiodate. So we can use our expression that relates our half-life and our rate constant, like so. That's ln 2 over k, and our activity, which is activity at time t divided by activity at time 0, uh, which is also related to the rate constant. We can put those two concepts together to get, in terms of t, for any kind of radiodating problem, that is minus the half-life divided by ln of 2, which is 0.693 if you're trying to save time, times the natural log of the ratio between the activity at time t and the activity at time 0. Okay, so we can use that for any kind of radio dating problem. That's super helpful to just stuff those two equations together and put it in terms of t, because we're always going to want to solve for t because we want to know how old something is. What do we have here? Our half-life is minus 5.73 times 10 to the power of 3 years. The minus is going to make sure we end up with the right sign. Um, and then divide by the natural log of 2. So ln 2, it should be about 0.693. And then we're going to multiply this by ln of nt over n0. So the only thing that could feasibly go wrong here is not being able to differentiate between which one is nt and n0. Okay, so n0 means like the time that the artifact was new, right? So in this case, if we're going to be comparing to a similar fresh sample, the measurement from the fresh sample is going to be our N0, because that's imagining that our artifact was new, what it would be. And NT will be the actual activity of the artifact. So in this case, our artifact is 50 becquerels, and our new piece of wood that is like the artifact is going to be the 55 becquerels, right? Which makes sense because it hasn't undergone decay yet, okay? So variations that you might get on this kind of question, you might just get a percent of the original activity, in which case you're just going to put that decimalized percent instead of the ratio between old to new, okay? So that would be the kind of variation you could get in this question. You don't have to worry about like the units of activity, because like becquerels and becquerels is going to cancel out, and taking the natural log of that technically logs are unitless anyway. So our unit is going to basically be based on what our half-life unit is. Okay, so if our half-life is in years, then our time elapsed is also going to come out in years. And that comes out to be 780 something years, 788, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to take it to two significant digits, which would be 7.9 times 10 to the power of 2. And those units would be years. All right, so I hope that is helpful for you.